Yeah, man!
Hello, my name is Miguel, and today I'm gonna make for you tomato stew. Alright, so you'll need about 4 between 5, maybe half dozen plummy tomatoes, the riper the better, an onion, 3 garlic cloves, a stack of scallion, which is optional, half Scotch bonnet pepper, or you can use like a quarter teaspoon of red pepper, shredded red pepper, a tablespoon white vinegar, distilled white vinegar, and about a pinch of sea salt for flavoring, some rosemary, parsley, sweet basil, whole cloves, oregano, visit JamaicaDinners.com for the recipe, marjoram, and pimento berries, dried pimento berries. Start by cut off ends. This is the scallion. Remove dying leaves, cut off root end, and cut the tip of the dying leaf too as well. Where the tip of the leaf is, usually let's start dying first. So you just cut off the part that's dying. Peel garlic and cut off ends. Trim off any spoilage you might see on the garlic. Alright, this is a true vegan recipe. Vegan don't eat meat, not even honey. That's their rule. As for the onion, do as I always say, remove the brown leaf. Don't remember, the first layer of the onion is the strongest, so you just want to remove the brown leaf. And I cut the onion in half for easy handling. I decided to just use half onion. Once you do that, rinse scallion and garlic under running water. Now add some water and drizzle a few drops of distilled white vinegar in a bowl, and then rinse the plummy tomatoes. Use your fingers and rub the tomatoes clean. After that, give it a final rinse on the fresh running water. This is just for demonstration purpose. So rinse now, I'm gonna give it a final rinse. so I'm gonna put these tomatoes aside for later. Now we're gonna organize our herbs. Measure and put aside or lay on a plate. We're gonna put all our herbs on one plate. Measure and lay on the plate 1 tablespoon of parsley. Remember now, you can use any of these herbs fresh, just dice it fine. This is basil, sweet basil, dried sweet basil. Measure and add 1 teaspoon of dried sweet basil. Oregano. Oregano is a strong herb, so you probably just need half teaspoon or quarter teaspoon. Marjoram. Measure and add half teaspoon marjoram. Rosemary leaves. If you're using fresh rosemary, just break off a stem with the leaves and just add it in the stew. And before serving, you just remove the stem. Alright, but today we're using dried rosemary. You can either pre-buy grinded fine rosemary, but you want the rosemary to be grinded fine. After grinded fine, you want about half tablespoon and a pinch of salt, which is like quarter teaspoon of salt. I use sea salt. Alright, so now the scallion, dice scallion fine. Remember I was telling you about the garlic. I always trim off any spoilage. See, I just see a piece of brown spot. A kind of creamish looking spot, so I'm trimming it off. Probably a dent. Because you rarely ever, I don't think you'll never see any insect in any of these garlic. There's probably a dent. Alright, so do as you see me doing and grind garlic to puree or pulp. If you don't have one of these grinders, you can use a flat knife and mash it to puree. And keep ingredients separate. Alright, now slice onion. Why I like to keep my vegetables why I cut my vegetables bigger than fine than dice, because with vegan cooking, I believe that when you eating, it kind of give you a sense of you eating real food. So when you cut your vegetables larger, you'll kind of have chunks to bite on instead of gravy. Alright, so now with the tomatoes, cut the stem end off. Cut tomatoes in quarters. At first, cut it in half and then cut each piece in half. So from each tomato you should get 8 pieces. If the tomato is small, you just cut it in quarters. you don't must just use plummy tomato. And the riper the tomato, the better. You can use salad tomato as well. So to make this stew, it's best to have ripe, very red, ripened tomatoes. Tomato stew is like tomato sauce, but this is the stew. It's probably new by me, the stew part, the title, tomato stew, but I'm sure it tastes just like tomato sauce. So it's just me making a vegan meal out of it, really. I just want to show you how you can make a dinner out of tomato. This meal was extremely delicious. Alright, so keep your ingredients separate and put everything together so you can have them ready for cooking. And it was filling. All, if I forget to say on any of my video, every one of my vegan meals are gonna be filling. After eating them, you feel like you eat a real dinner. Scotch bonnet pepper. I'm just gonna use half. You can use red pepper or no pepper. Alright, forgot to say, add piece ginger. Piece the first bend of your finger, index. About quarter inch piece ginger, and then peel it. If you don't want to peel it, you can just wash it properly too, and just use it because the skin of the ginger is mineral. So usually when I peel it, I don't peel it all perfect. I kind of roughly peel it and leave some of the skin on it, and then wash off the dirt like. Alright, this is pimento berries. They call it allspice. But if you can get the real berries, it's best. And it's optional as well. So measure and put aside quarter teaspoon. Put to heat a saucepan, a medium-sized saucepan. Put the stove's gauge on 4, medium-low. Be sure the saucepan is dried. No water is in the pan. Immediately add half of quarter cup cooking oil. I use coconut oil. Alright, because I want people to enjoy eating this meal instead of taking off, I have to stop to take out the pimento berries. I'm going to show you how to cook with the pimento berries without even having the pimento berries in the meat. So right after, add the pimento berries to the oil. So after a minute, the pimento berries got hot. Kind of release some of the nutrients in the oil and flavor as well in the oil. So you turn the stove down on low and kind of cook or fry the dried pimento berries and allow them to flavor the oil. Alright, do this for about a minute or so because the oil and the pan is kind of getting hot, so you want to do it so that so you have less smoke. Alright, so do as you see me doing and remove your pimento berries. And that's it. That way, when you eat this meal, you just eat it freely. Turn the stove back up on 4 medium low. Add your diced onions and stir fry. Add your piece ginger. Stir fry and allow. 8 seconds later, add your diced scallion. Stir fry. Allow sauteing. Stove gauge is on 4 medium low. You gotta watch it because you don't want to burn the onions. You just want to give it a caramel look. You want to give it a caramel appearance. Add your mashed garlic and saute. Stir in and saute. Add the vegetables in this sequence because garlic burns easily. Alright, after stirring for about 10 seconds or so, add your chopped tomato as well the herbs, the salt, all the ingredients that was on that plate. Now get a cooking spoon and do as you see me doing. You gotta stir fry the tomato with the other ingredients and allow the tomato to kind of break down, cook and break down while you stir fry. Stove gauge is on 4 medium low. Add 1 tablespoon distilled white vinegar for tanginess. You could have probably add like a lime juice or lemon juice instead, or even orange juice instead. Watch the pepper if you're using a Scotch bonnet pepper like this. Alright, so stirring, you gotta allow the tomato to break down before adding water, because we're gonna add water next. After 2 minutes stirring the tomatoes, measure and add ½ cup water with this recipe. Use the pan's lid, cover the pan properly and allow. Stove gauge is on 4, medium low, allow. So this is tomato stew brewing before your eyes. Visit JamaicaDinners.com for the recipe. 3 between 4 minutes. This is what it looks like. Keep the lid on the pan within the time. The pepper, watch the pepper. In fact, remove the pepper because you don't want it to break down and make your stew too spicy. Alright, so this is where we're going. This is what you want. You want the stew to be thickened, to be thick. So we're gonna thicken it some more. So use the pan's lid, cover the pan back properly. Those gauges on 4, allow. 5 between 6 minutes. This is what it looks like. This is what our tomato stew looks like. Alright, so now would be a good time to turn the stove gauge on 6 medium high. Let the stew kind of thicken. Leave the lid off. Allow some of the water from the stew to evaporate and thicken your gravy. This is natural cooking all the way. We're not adding nothing more than what you saw. See how the gravy look rich and thick? And you don't have to ask if it has flavors. Mad flavor. This is packed with flavors. A sign to tell that your gravy is thick enough is when it starts to stick to the pot's bottom. So that's a sign to say you're almost finished. Or finish. Or finishing. This is the idea. This is what you want. You just want to eat all of this nice, beautiful vegetable stew. See how thick the gravy got? That's it. You finish. So that's it. It took 2 minutes on 6. Saw that? I just bought this. I just replaced it. And to me, the old one is working better than this new one. It's probably defective. Cover your pan until serving. Alright, so before serving, stir in your pot. So take a scoop of this delicious looking tomato stew and pour it or lay it on a plate of noodles, spaghetti noodles. That's what we're eating it with today. I say we, act like you're getting any. Alright, so this is tomato stew. Visit JamaicaDinners.com for the recipe. Subscribe, like, share. You should try cooking this meal yourself and give us feedback. Tomato stew or tomatoes stew. You will enjoy this meal. Vegans, I'm here to give y'all a new experience with eating food and healthy. Alright, so let's sample this tomato stew with spaghetti with me. Alright, flavor is tangy, very unique. I can barely get a grip of the spaghetti, but it's flavorful, delicious, tangy. It reminds me of spaghetti, meatballs and spaghetti without the meat. A very simple meal, but it has a very big impact. I would say this is a really good vegan recipe. The noodles, the spaghetti, there are numerous brands and types of spaghettis available on the market. So you can get green ones, vegetable spaghetti, wheat spaghetti, all sorts. You can eat this with rice, mashed potatoes, lettuce, salads, like a vegetable salad. If you eat ton cornmeal, it would have been nice with ton cornmeal. Turned cornmeal. Turned cornmeal is a true vegan meal the way how I do it, because I use coconut milk. I don't use cow's milk or some other milk as other people do. Alright guys, you saw me walk off. You saw me just ate all this. It was very delicious. Bye.
Yeah, man!